Welcome back to the Upshots rundown of the funniest stories in sport this week. On the show today, Arne Slot is partying in Ibiza with Wayne Lineker. You're either a piss goblin or a bald lout. Dart star Michael Van Gerwen in a backstage brawl. And the secret double life of the Aston Villa legend who possibly faked his own death.
Is he on the golf course with Tupac and Biggie
I was about to say he ends in a flat in Mexico City with them and Elvis Presley. My name is Jack and JP Lockwood is with me.
Hello, how are you, mate?
It's just the two of us.
That's exactly how I like it.
Intimate, romantic sort of Upshot podcast this week.
This is exactly what I've been dreaming of since day one.
What? Ding Dong the Witch is dead. Zachary Sweeney Lynch is off the sofa.
We got rid of the dead wood.
Yeah, just the real talent now.
I've submitted his P45. It's on his desk.
Yeah, Zach's on holiday.
Yeah.
So just in case you're wondering if JP has cut his brake cables, Zach is away, sort of studying Czech churches or something like that.
Yeah, I saw a photo of him in Malawi or something.
Yeah, he's actually in Malawi. I actually saw a photo and he was in a church.
What was he doing? Do you know?
No, just don't know.
Should call him up.
I think he's
find out.
volunteering.
Is he?
Yeah.
God, he's a great guy.
Yeah, that's not how I spend my holidays.
No.
But respect to it. More of an Ocean Beach Club guy, much like Arne Slot, the Liverpool manager. So did you see they drew with Arsenal on the weekend on Sunday, and then a couple of days later he was partying with Wayne Lineker at his bar.
It makes me like him, but also there is a part of me that is like, should you be doing that 2 games before the end of the season? And is it a bit disrespectful to the other teams below
Want
you?
to be like, I'm on the beach already, literally on the beach.
Yeah, well, I saw he was, the rest of the team are in Dubai now.
Really?
Yeah, the rest of the Liverpool team
What,
are having
holiday?
a couple of days in Dubai. I'm like, surely there has to be a competitive nature to this. You can't all just go out on a bender now.
But the games are meaningless now, right?
Yeah, true. It just sort of like, you can't just
Yeah.
forget about the last couple of games of the
Well,
season.
I mean, they'll still play.
Yeah, true.
Be quite funny if they
Fucking
lose.
hungover.
Yeah, lose both. Got a clip of him actually in Ocean Beach Club. So is Wayne Lineker a Liverpool fan?
No.
Oh right, he just does this for the champions every
Yeah,
year,
right,
doesn't he? This is his guard of honour. I like he's got the girls holding up champion sign.
Love it.
There's a brief moment where Slot looks like he's going for the decks.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he might
yeah. Just about to jump on.
drop some Armin van Buren.
Yeah. Some hard techno. I love how Wayne always adds a little touch, doesn't he? Like, you know, there's always that little bit of VIP extra. Like he's got the Champions banner there. Like when the Queen died, he had the what did he have? It was like a double decker bus.
Like the beefeater hats.
Yeah.
And the women were like marching, and it was like solemn but sexy. Yeah, and also, I mean, so we've got next week our episode about the Lineker brothers is coming out, and we talked about how he got the Wealdstone Raider there.
Yeah.
And the Wealdstone Raider's like being paraded in like
In a bathtub. Yeah.
And the girls in the lingerie are holding up a sign saying, "You want some?" So yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say I would not expect that from Arne Slot. I thought he was sort of like an accountant.
Yeah, I thought he was a lot more tame, but don't get me wrong, that makes me like him a lot more.
I think when it's like Trent to Real Madrid, when Wayne Lineker calls, you go.
You've got to go,
You just
yeah.
got to, if I was offered, you know, an Ocean Beach Club unveiling like that, does he do that every year for the champions?
I don't think you're far off, Jack,
Do you think,
from an invite to OG.
Wayne, if you're listening.
Yeah, I'd love to. I actually have seen some podcasts recorded at O Beach, so if he ever gives us a...
Oh, yeah. I'm so up for that. Have I told you about
I'm not sure you're the clientele.
I've got a really good idea for an Upshot live show, which is we talk about China White, the nightclub, all the time. All these like mad stories happen there. So it's a live show at China White, but it's an immersive live show. So you get there and it's just like the normal China White experience from 2002. So like you don't get in if you've got trainers on.
Love it.
Everyone's dressed in like, you know, bodycon dresses for the girls, like horrible like suits for the blokes. There's a bar open, there's music. And then we get on the mic. And like any live show, we're like telling stories, but it's obviously stories that happened in China White because there's loads of like iconic stuff. Like I say iconic, it's like John Terry shagging a bird on crutches in the loos.
It is iconic.
There's like a Nicholas Bentner one with like Prince Harry. There's a few of these stories, some really good ones. And then we have actors acting them out. So we're telling the stories and you're going round the club to the spot where it happened. and there's actors acting them out, and you have like lookalikes.
I feel like this is so it's like an upshot version of Secret Cinema.
Yeah. Secret Cinema meets News of the World. Or like Heat magazine. But then you even have like your Prince Harry used to always go there, have like a Prince Harry lookalike in his like Nazi fancy dress.
I love that. Yeah.
So like you are sort of just at a nightclub, but then also you're attending something. I think that's fucking good.
I'm 100% up for it. Do you reckon,
Immersive.
would this be to Patreon subscribers only, or would
Yeah,
you
I think
take it out?
Patreon are priority.
And then
Yeah.
is China White still open?
No, they've got branches in like Belfast and Manchester that are open, but the London one I think's closed. But I think it is another club, so maybe they'd be up for it.
Yeah. Reach out, see if they'll rent it to us.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about it. But an Ocean Beach Club one could be
The
cool.
wheels are in
But what's
motion.
amazing about China White is you can be like, this is the spot where John Terry pissed in the pint glass, and then there's a John Terry actor standing on the bar pissing in a pint glass.
And you can have a photo with him.
Oh, of course, yeah. You get a bit of piss splashes on you, the full
Yeah.
immersion.
Some merch at the door.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Arne Slot. Do we think he's a sesh head?
I think that Dutch people generally are just more inclined to be all right with just going out on the lash and partying. It's just more accepted
Well,
over there.
I've actually been thinking about it. There's basically two types of Dutch men, right? There's the like 6 foot, super good looking, like guy who loves techno, but he's like art for us. It's not a party, it's art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's their culture.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't understand why you English people always get so fucked. Those guys, they're like they speak perfect English.
They'll go out and like party, but won't get like fucked up.
Yeah, you know
It's
the
like,
type.
It's like an art form. for them.
Yeah. And then the other Dutch type is like bald, darts player, doesn't speak any English, fucking animal, bit more English and vibe, really,
Yeah.
but doesn't speak any.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You see them at like we were in Dortmund for the football for England, Netherlands, and there are fucking loads of them.
Yeah.
And like they are
like the louts from
but
the UK.
Dutch men, you're basically one of the two.
Oh.
And I thought Arne Slot was, I guess I thought he was, despite appearances, was a sort of like, this sort of cultured, very well-behaved guy. But now I'm starting to wonder,
I feel like he's at the intersection of both.
what you think he's the middle of the Venn diagram. Basically, you're either gay Dutch or bald Dutch, is what I'm saying.
What about the Dutch geezers that ride around on bikes with cheese sandwiches in the back pocket?
That's just that's gay. That's the gay techno guy.
Right.
That's the gay techno
Right.
format. They're not the bald guys.
Right.
I was trying to think of examples that would test this. Who's the like Trump guy? Geert Wilders? Do you know who I
Yeah,
mean?
Wilders, yeah.
I think he's sort of like, he's the bald darts player at heart, but he's sort of adopted some of the gay techno look.
Yeah, and I guess Arne Slot is in that category as well.
I think Arne Slot isn't. I now think bald darts. I
Right.
mean, he is bald.
If he was in like a classy club in Ibiza with like good tunes, then I would say he's more
Yeah.
in that. But because he's at fucking
Yeah,
Ocean
he's
Beach-
nailed his colours to the And to be fair, in Ibiza and in Spain in general, you meet a lot of the bald darts lads,
that is
don't
sort
you?
of that land.
Whereas
isn't it?
the techno gays are in like Germany on
Yeah.
holiday. They're like, they're with Zach in the church, aren't
yeah, or Berghain in the dungeon.
they? Yeah, with old Renee, who possibly is Dutch actually.
Ooh.
I think we know which of those two teams is. You're either a piss goblin or a bald lout. I was actually just thinking more Dutchman. Edgar Davids is gay techno, I think.
Gay techno, yeah.
Quincy Promise is quite hard because he's
Oh, I'd say Lout.
bald lout, I think.
Van Nistelrooy.
Bald lout.
I'd say more like
Really?
cultured. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Isn't it basically you're from Amsterdam, you're the techno gay?
Everyone
Everyone else is
outside.
bald lout.
Yeah.
Let us know if you are Dutch. Does this sound about right? I honestly think there's something to
We're
this.
stereotyping heavily, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them is so good looking and one of them is so not.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Arne Slot. I was thinking like, oh god, is he going to be with loads of like Love Island influencers? The only celeb I can see who was there, apart from Wayne Lineker, was Dean Gaffney off EastEnders.
I can't. He parties all the time, doesn't
Yeah, oh yeah,
He's
he must
everywhere.
be 50s.
he? Yeah.
Friend of the pod. Last time we did a story about him like last year because he was out on King's Road in London chirpsing and he was waiting for a taxi trying to hail and Wesley Fofana ran him over in his Lamborghini. And the quote from the news report was that Dean was catapulted into the air. Mental.
Yeah, he is out all the time. Also, if you're like 50 at Ocean Beach, it's a bit creepy.
Well,
isn't
unless
it?
you're Wayne.
Unless you're Wayne. Yeah, well,
that's
Wayne's in his
fine.
own category, isn't he?
Agreed.
But like Dean Gaffney, he's like 50 odd.
But that's what Dean Gaffney, he's a big shagger.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this a lot during the Fofana story, but Gaffney claims to have slept with 1,000 women.
Jesus, I thought it was his brother that ratted him out on that.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, who's his brother?
His brother, he's like his estranged brother gave him. He released a story to the News of the World.
That's very possible.
Your favourite publication. And now he doesn't speak to his brother anymore.
Really? But I feel like Dean loves it.
Yeah.
No, but
I mean,
read,
if it's out like that all the time.
But there was a kiss and tell where the woman said that Dean, obviously his character in EastEnders always had Wellard, the dog.
Yeah.
And she said that he calls his cock Wellard.
Nice way to remember the dog.
Yeah.
Nice way to remember
Beloved
the dog.
Yeah. A lot of people said the dog was a better actor than him.
When he came back for the second time, did he have...
As Robbie.
Was Wellard still alive?
Because Wellard passed to that other guy, do you remember?
As in like past...
No. Wellard did die. There was an episode where Wellard died from food poisoning.
Oh, no, he got fed chocolate.
Yeah, you get fed chocolate.
Yeah.
Never feed your dog chocolate. We all know that. We could have tested that today. JP was going to bring his dog, but she's banned from our office.
Podcast studio is not dog friendly, guys.
I think
a
it's the
fucking
office
joke.
building. Anyway,
No, it's the podcast
when
studio.
Wellard died from food poisoning, the Guardian reviewer was like, it was the best bit of acting they've ever had on EastEnders. But then I was also looking through Dean Gaffney Kiss and Tells, and one of them was from a woman who had the biggest boobs in Britain.
Love that.
N cup,
Jesus.
if you're wondering. N for November. That is mad.
That is fucking nuts.
I kind of...
I thought you'd maybe bring up a picture.
I was about to say,
we're absolutely dying to have a quick...
Teddy, could we have just a quick glimpse? Zach's away. It's getting horny.
Yeah. Show me photos of Dean Gaffney. I don't want to see Dean Gaffney, mate.
Here we go. Woman, Britain's biggest breasts.
Oh, wow. So it has made the papers.
You just putting Britain's biggest breasts into
N
a
cup.
Oh,
Oh, wow. I mean, they look big, but they
He's
don't
expecting
look like,
more.
you know.
I've got safe search on.
Oh, right.
get that.
Good lad. Ruins the brain.
All we're getting is pictures of Dean Gaffney. Who is Britain's biggest...
Really doesn't feel that horny in here at the minute.
He is Britain's biggest tit, to be fair.
Yeah.
So.
Are we saying that that's the woman?
Maybe on Patreon we'll
Yeah.
turn.
I
On
think
Patreon,
I think this is her.
we're gonna turn Safe Search off on Patreon.
Yeah. For only £3 a month, you get Safe Search turned off.
Yeah, I mean, those are big boobs. All right.
She looks lovely as well.
She does. Looks like a lovely person. Anyway, yeah, I was a bit disappointed Dean Gaffney, but I guess it's early in the season.
Yeah.
Do you think Arne Slot got there and was like, Dean Gaffney?
Yeah, I mean, if you hit it in July, you got your Grealish knocking about.
Your Tyrone Mings.
You got your
Danny
Mings.
Dyers.
Yeah.
As in Danny with an eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's
a bit
disappointing.
early. But also, he's got the entire summer to party. This is what I don't get.
Yeah.
You know, why go out
But
now?
I'm guessing Wayne Lineker just got in the DMs and was like, we'd love to have you.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, Wayne Lineker sounds like fun.
Let's go on techno.
Yeah.
The caption on Wayne Lineker's Instagram was, caption this, # you'll never walk alone. With him and Arne Slot, who also looks like his business partner. I can't remember what he's called. Like, he's kissing Arne Slot on the head.
Oh, yeah, it's like a proper kiss. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you sure he's not a Liverpool fan? No.
I'm pretty sure he's
Leicester.
Leicester.
Yeah, you'd think. Anyway, more Wayne Lineker on Tuesday. We got our episode on the brothers Lineker, naughty and nice. Actually, speaking of bald Dutch darts players, Michael van Gerwen, probably the perfect archetype of that vibe. He's the king of darts in the Netherlands, arguably. Got into a little bit of a scrap recently. So apparently he was backstage before you go on, they're all just practicing. And there was another player practicing like in his way, basically, an Austrian guy, Roby John Rodriguez, which is a hell of a name. And not a name you'd expect for an Austrian. Anyway, Roby John was like throwing quite slowly, and apparently Van Gerwen was like, "Can you hurry up, please? I am going on the Aki very soon." And Roby John was like basically decided to wind him up by being like really slow and just like fucking around.
Were they playing each other?
No. Roby John wasn't even on soon. He was just being
fair
a cock.
fucking enough.
Anyway, so they end up squaring up like nose to nose, and then Van Gerwen just picked him up and threw him
Fucking
over
right.
a table. I think it was through the table because apparently 10 players' drinks were just knocked everywhere. Roby John's just lying there like, ooh.
That's like old darts vibes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Good to see.
Yeah. Also, if you're not on next, I know he's like
Yeah,
one of the
he's-
top players, but just don't be a dickhead.
He's right. But
Yeah.
it does Van Gerwen living up to the bald Dutch
Yes.
vibe very much there. It's got braces though, which I don't know how to categorise.
Well, I still put him in the chavvy bit. Would you not?
Oh, is it just chavvy and bosh?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, right. Speaking of meltdowns, it is back to anger management classes for Evangelos Marinakis, the Nottingham Forest owner. So I think everyone's seen the clip of him coming on the pitch and screaming at Nuno.
Yeah.
After, so Forest had just dropped points at Leicester, which means their Champions League dream is looking shaky. And I saw Gary Neville immediately flew in, being like, Nuno should hand in his notice tomorrow. There's no way you should put up with that.
He's released court papers to him today.
To Gary Neville?
Yeah.
Who has?
Marinakis. Marinakis, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he said that there's been it was slander on Sky Sports when he said it, and they've said that you need to take every article down. He's threatening to sue him.
Right, it makes me a little bit nervous about what comes next.
Or everything that you've said.
He's quite litigious, isn't he? He was suing that person who had the sign outside the ground.
Yeah, he is. He's scary.
He's Bond villain.
Yeah.
We'll get into more of that in a sec. But he's saying that he wasn't getting angry with Nuno about the drop points. He was angry because Taiwo Awoniyi, the Forest striker, had basically been injured. Like people have seen it. He collided with the post and then wasn't subbed off due to like a bit of a mix-up, some quite complicated rules, and so he was left on the pitch. And Marinakis was like, "You should have fucking subbed him off." And to be fair, he's got a point because Awoniyi then had to have abdominal surgery, and he's in an induced coma.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Hopefully he's all right. We wish him well.
But I guess the weird thing is, like, the narrative blew up as soon as it finished the match about him going nuts at Nuno Santo. And then obviously this statement's come out to say they're really worried about the player, and he's trying to, for me, it's almost like he's covering it up, or like he's actually just had a go at the gaffer for not playing well enough.
You don't believe him?
And now he's covering it up with the injury.
Yeah, I think I believe him.
Do you?
Well, I mean, like, it turns out it was a bit of a fuck up. So apparently there's a report in the papers saying that eyewitnesses saw him lose his rag again with Nuno in the tunnel.
Yes, I did see that.
And apparently he screamed at Nuno, and then he said, before venting his frustration at the medical staff and Awoniyi himself, which is
How dare you? How dare you?
That seems like a bit of a kick in the teeth. Poor fella. Who's in hospital. Hopefully he'll be all right.
So it's an abdomen thing.
Yeah, I don't exactly know what, but he's had surgery. I think it's pretty nasty.
Jesus.
The physio he was screaming at is presumably, have you ever seen the Forest physio? You know, he's got the
Okay.
Paul Weller, the well end haircut.
Yeah, Paul Weller tribute hat.
Yeah,
act.
it's just a hell of a haircut.
Love it.
Yeah. I saw also someone point out that Marinakis, someone called Ruby Naylor, tweeted, pointing out that when he ran on the pitch, he's got an iPhone 8 and with wired headphones.
Old
It's quite
school.
nice.
Maybe he's trying to go offline too, like us.
Yeah, he's like us with our dumb
Yeah.
phones. Yeah. I think it's quite nice, actually. I think on this occasion, he's basically in the right.
Yeah.
You don't?
He's just got, as you said, he's just got a bit of an air of that Bond villain about him. You
Oh,
know,
mate,
he's just a bit scary, a
Very.
bit old school. You can imagine him like writing, you know, sort of angry letters from his office and just being a bit of a fucking tyrant, really.
Yeah. I saw someone saying he looks like he's someone who at the end of a meeting might be like, and one more thing, I would like one night with your beautiful wife.
Yeah.
We've actually talked before about all these like stories from Greece about him. Various colourful encounters, we'll call them. My favourite of which is that he tried to buy a painting off this art gallery owner in Athens, and she was like, no, it's not for sale. And she really wouldn't budge. And the next day, possibly unrelated, 4 massive blokes came in and threw cups of yogurt over her. I don't know what exactly happened there, but that is the most Greek thing.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yogurt.
As punishment.
Getting that 5%. What is it? Fage? I never know how to say it. Get the oikos out. Yeah, it's just so Greek. He was accused of a role in a heroin trafficking thing because there was this ship, which I don't know if he must have owned the ship because he is a ship owner, but they found some heroin on it. And he was accused, but the charges were dropped. I was reading up on it. There was a paragraph that used to be on his Wikipedia that's no longer there, or it's been edited, but it said, in January 2021, after 10 witnesses of the case had already died, and after reviewing the case, the judge came to the conclusion there was no evidence implicating Marinakis and concluded his investigation.
Jesus.
10. I was looking, a lot of people died in custody.
Is
Which, by the way, there's no suggestion that that's anything to do with Marinakis, but there were a lot of people accused and involved in this thing. And apparently that judge who dropped the charges was the 4th judge on the case. The first 3 all asked to be transferred as soon as they were put on it. transferred off it, and one of them immediately emigrated to the USA.
It's like something out of Sopranos.
Yeah, it's quite scary.
Absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
He's really passionate, and there is bits of him that I like, but there is something just like quite scary about him.
Oh yeah. But I mean, you'd probably rather have a big bearded Bond villain of an owner like him, than like, you know, a sort of gristly, miserly, scraggy-faced Dickensian workhouse owner like Jim Ratcliffe. You can see where I'm taking this.
Yes. I love that.
Subtle.
I love that.
But you know what I mean? Ratcliffe really looks like a character out of a Charles Dickens novel.
Does.
And he's living up to it. I mean, we've done stories about his stinginess to death, but they do keep coming. So the latest is the Europa League final. Obviously, it's pretty normal for all your staff to go to the game. And even Dan Levy is giving all Spurs staff a ticket. And he's famously tight, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're having a bit of a tight off, these two at the moment. There's no, if you were going to look at the two tightest owners or people that run clubs in the Premier League, you'd probably say it's Dan Levy and Jim Ratcliffe, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I always think Levy gets a lot of shit, but like Tottenham's quite a well run.
Yeah, it's well run, isn't it?
I guess it's not fun if you're a fan. You just want your Bond villain throwing cash around. Throwing yogurt and cash around.
And if you're a United fan, you don't know what you want, really, do you?
No, they don't know what they want. They just want it to be over at this point. But yeah, so Dan Levy's giving them all a ticket to the Europa League final, but Ratcliffe has decided instead there'll be a ballot. So some stuff will get to go, but most stuff will watch on a big screen in a Manchester venue.
Oh my God.
Which I'm praying is like the sort of marketing suite of a Holiday Inn or something. You know
we
what I
should
mean?
try and find out where it is and go.
Yeah. Well, maybe you get a +1. So basically guests, staff go and they get 2 free drinks tokens. And they can bring a guest, but the guest has to buy their own drinks.
This can't be true.
Yeah.
Oh
I think,
my God.
Like, obviously it's mental because they will then spend like 50 million this summer on Liam Delap or something.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's bad, but you know what I mean? It just feels like this is all drop in the ocean. But is he doing that? You know, people say about Jeff Bezos that keeping costs down is like a big thing at Amazon because it's like, make it as cheap as possible for the customer. And so I don't know if it's still true, but for ages, the office, the desks were doors from their like old doors that they got cheap, balanced on like workbenches.
It's like startup vibes.
Well, I think it's like you kind of want to show people that we're saving costs in every respect.
I guess they've had such a shit season, and this is their one shining light. You'd think maybe just like treat everyone, and he's made shitloads of redundancies. He's like stripped the club out. If this is like your core team, just treat them to a night out.
And also, it's like this is a chance for us to feel like we've got momentum as a club. Like if they win the Europa League, you'd have to say it's been a good season.
Yeah,
annoyingly, because the league's obviously been a disaster. But it's like, yeah, you want to cut costs, but yeah, you probably want everyone like feeling a bit of a sense of like excitement.
I read online there's some there's like packages for like 900 quid to go, and I'm wondering like, is Jim Ratcliffe just gonna like tell everyone just to get in the fucking public queue and queue up for tickets or something?
And then he sticks them on Vivid Seats, Todd Bowley's resale, where by the way the tickets are going for 22 grand on there.
Fuck.
For this final.
Wow.
Yeah.
When is it? It's a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, it's on a Wednesday night.
Wednesday
Where
night.
is it? It's in Bilbao, isn't it? Next
Bilbao.
Wednesday. Yeah. He's also, by the way, said if they win, there will be no open top bus parade. There will be a barbecue at Carrington.
Fantastic.
I actually kind of get that one because it's like
I can't see him like I don't think United fans will go out for him.
Yeah.
Or this team.
Yeah, I think it's the right. Some would, and it is. I think it's a big achievement, but it's it's the mood is not right. To do that.
Oh, I think Amarin might go if they don't win as well.
I mean,
I've heard
I
it
think
at
he probably
first.
should if they don't.
It's like there's a real negativity around that club.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
And I'm loving it. Sorry, United fans. All right, changing setting quite a lot. Clarence Seedorf, the legend of Dutch football, and you'd have to put him in the Technogate character.
100%. It's classy.
Yeah, he's classy. He played in Milan.
Yeah.
Like he's joined Esteghlal, the Iranian side.
In like a Legends League.
No. They're like they play in the what do you call it? The Asian Champions League. They're like a good side.
Surely he's like 50.
Sorry, I should say he's not playing.
Oh, right.
He's actually an advisor. I thought he was joining as manager.
Right.
He's been signed as like an advisor because I was looking. He most recently was managing Cameroon.
Really?
Yeah, and he managed Deportivo and Milan briefly.
I always think the advisory roles when you're an ex-footballer are like the easiest gig because you're basically just going in and not doing very much at all.
And I was wondering, like, what's his big sort of like idea he's bringing them, is he's sort of like, we should go 5 at the back, or like, here's how we can deal with Ronaldo in the Champions League. But apparently the first thing they're going to do is sign Quincy Promise.
Nice.
friend of the shot.
Yeah.
So I guess, he's Dutch. He's already playing in the Middle East.
He's getting on a bit as well, isn't he?
Quincy, I think he's only like 30.
Really?
And I had a look just before we came on. He's admittedly in the second tier of UAE football, but he's banging them in.
Yeah, I bet. And I suppose, well, you're banging them in, but it's probably not the highest quality of football you've ever played.
Whereas Esteghlal, I mean, look, it's not. Who's he playing with? It's not even Spartak Moscow, but like it's not bad.
Yeah, true.
I'm a bit unsure about where Iran stands on coke smugglers.
Yeah, I was about to say, surely he's got a criminal record.
Normally get your bollocks chopped off for that sort of thing.
Yeah,
but,
don't end up in jail.
Anyway, it would be a great storyline for us. Mainly thinking of me here.
Bring it on.
But it wouldn't actually be Esteghlал's first big name foreign signing whose story became shrouded in intrigue. Do you remember JLloyd Samuel?
R.I.P.
Yeah. So he played for Villa, like over 100 games, defender. I would call him a Villa legend.
I mean, he was quality.
Yeah, he was good for a bit. I mean, he basically...
Didn't he play for Bolton as well?
Yeah, I think he did. But then, so he played for Villa, and then his career went downhill a bit, and he went to Iran in 2011. He was there for like 5-6 years, then came back to England, and then very sadly died in a car crash in 2018. And a few years after that, ITV made a documentary in which his sister claimed that he was actually faking his own death and wasn't dead, and that he'd been living a secret double life. So basically, he was married to this woman, Emma, who he'd met when he was 19, when he was in Birmingham playing for Villa. And apparently he told her for the first 2 months of their relationship he was an estate agent. It's a bit of the Colo Touré.
Yeah, I was about to say Colo Touré.
Sylvain Distin said that he was a milkman.
And praying that she's not a football fan.
Yeah.
Or doesn't watch Match of the Day.
One day just sees him holding the Premier League title. Yeah. But I don't know what JLloyd Samuel's game was, but anyway, after 2 months he came clean and was like, I'll play for Villa. Anyway, they got married and were like, quite happily married, I think. But then, as I said, he went to Iran in 2011. And while he was playing in Iran, he would fly home every few weeks to see his family. Or sometimes they would come to Dubai and meet up with him. And apparently one time when she visited him there, his wife Emma said that there was this other woman with him called Helia, who she was like, who the fuck are you? And this woman was like, I'm his fortune teller.
As you do. You always bring your fortune teller on.
I, for one, will never go to Wild Wadi Water Park in Dubai without my fortune teller, my Iranian fortune teller. Apparently it was pretty weird, but she was like, okay, I guess you want a fortune teller. Actually, though, Helia was JLloyd's secret second wife. She was a fashion designer who he'd married in Tehran.
So wait, is there 3 women on the go here?
2. So there's his original wife, Emma, his English wife, and then there's Helia, who's this woman he's met in Iran, who's pretending to be his fortune teller, but is actually his secret wife, and they've been getting married. Anyway, so his wife Emma has no clue about all this. He leaves Iran in 2016, continues seeing Helia, like, flying out to the Middle East to see her, but his wife still doesn't know about it until he dies. So he had this awful car accident, killed in 2018 in Cheshire, and when he died, Helia starts posting on Instagram being like, this is my husband, I was married to him. And, basically his first wife finds out. And, I mean, the Iranian wife knew about the English wife, but in Iran you can have multiple wives.
Yeah, it's okay over there, isn't it?
Yeah. So Helia starts, like, giving loads of interviews about him. She said, like, he was so romantic, he even tried to learn Farsi, the language, so we could speak to each other. So I don't know how
Did they not speak before?
Just through the tarot cards, I guess. Oh, yeah. And she then basically...
What do you want for dinner?
Oh, it's the skull and crossbones again, yeah.
How did you know I wanted chicken?
I always find that weird relationships where they don't speak the same language.
Yeah, it's like, how do you fucking...
Also,
the language of love.
How can you be asked to have 2 families like that?
Yeah.
Mental. Anyway, so then this documentary was made by ITV a couple of years ago. It's on Netflix. And in it, Helia claims that the day that he died, JLloyd was actually due to fly to Morocco to meet her, and then they were going to move to Guinea-Bissau and start a diamond business.
Jesus.
His wife, Emma, denies this. She was like, no, we were going on a family holiday the following week. So they're like at loggerheads. You know, obviously Emma's just like, who is this woman? I can't believe my husband betrayed me. But then JLloyd's sister in the documentary claims that he faked his own death. She says he wasn't in the car when it exploded.
Just out of interest, surely he's had a car crash and they pulled a body out.
Yeah, I mean, the details are quite grim, but basically they could only identify him by dental records.
Christ.
And so there's like a bit. I mean, I have to say the in court in the inquest, the doctor was like, there is a 1 in a billion chance it's not him. But his sister's adamant, and his sister and Helia, the Iranian wife, claim that like the authorities won't release certain like DNA evidence and stuff. They think there's a cover up.
Or is he on the golf course with Tupac and Biggie
I was about
right
to say,
now?
it's in a flat in Mexico City. Them and Elvis Presley and Avril Lavigne. But it's pretty fucking mental. So
Yeah,
his own
fucking
sister and
mad
one of his
story.
2 wives is claiming that he faked his own death and is alive somewhere.
Wow.
They're adamant. They're still trying to access his medical records.
Wow.
Which, by the way, can I just say that would all be? I obviously don't wish any harm on anyone, but Quincy Promise's next chapter should go something like that.
Yeah.
I think. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there must be some truth in there if there's like, ITV doing full-on investigations on it, or there must be something that's a bit fishy.
I mean, I think the fishy thing is he had a secret double life, and then he's telling people he's going to run away with them, and then dies. But I always just assume these things are like, it's an unfortunate coincidence.
Yeah, you'd always think that footballers are too high profile to lead double lives. Like Colo Touré saying that. What was it? An estate agent?
He said he was a car salesman.
Car
called
salesman.
Francois.
It's like you're a Premier League footballer. Like you've got to have such bollocks to like.
JLloyd Samuel obviously a bit more under the radar than Colo Touré.
Yeah, and I suppose like maybe he's not that well known in certain circles in Iran or whatever.
Yeah, but also he already lied once by saying he was an estate agent, so he's obviously
a bit of a twisted cookie.
he's obviously and then he had a double life by having a secret wife. So like you can see why the ingredients are there to suspect him.
Yeah.
Speaking,
What do you think?
I don't think he's faked his own death.
Yeah, same.
Sadly,
a bit much.
Would be great if he
It's
was
a bit much.
still alive and well. Speaking of Esteklal, we're getting a lot of mentions on this pod. They are the team. So there was that footballer Thierry Bifuma. He played in England really briefly. I forget who for, but he basically we talked about this on a pod last year. He got offered to sign for them, and it had always been his dream to play against Ronaldo. And they'd drawn. What's Ronaldo's team? Al Nassr in the Asian Champions League. So he was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to go to Esteklal. I'm going to play against my hero. So joined them, but he didn't realize he'd actually joined a different team called Esteklal Khuzestan. It's like 500 miles away.
You'd be fucking gutted.
Yeah, so he did not get to play Ronaldo. But I actually checked in on him, and he's now signing for Persepolis, who are like the big team in Iran.
So will they get a chance to play?
Possibly,
against Ronaldo?
yeah. Apparently he's been banging them in. So
Oh, good luck to him.
yeah.
Make sure you get the team right.
And
next
it could
time.
be worse. You could be having to fake your own death.
Deaths and live a double life.
There's a really good Iranian football Twitter account that put me onto this story called Throwback Iranian Football. If that's your poison, check it out.
Maybe they're a listener of the pod.
I hope so. Shout out to them. Khubi. Right, staying on the Asian continent for a second.
Oh,
The great Virat Kohli retired from Test cricket this week, which I am truly gutted about. I mean, he was meant to tour England this summer, and it's sad to lose someone from the game who has such like intense charisma. I'm a big fan.
can I just say, whenever we do a cricket story, it really touches your heart, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it's just 'cause everyone I seem to work with, apart from Teddy, our producer, who's a big cricket fan, is fucking clueless.
Yeah, I know. And I
You,
probably
Zach, all the others are absolutely clueless. But it's a major.
I love it.
Is it not the most popular sport in the world because of India?
For a reason.
Yeah. So let me have my fucking moment. I'd actually be interested to know how many people care about cricket. Anyway, you don't need to care about cricket to enjoy this. Like most Upshot stories, it's not really about sport. Anyway, I was looking back through Virat Kohli's greatest moments, and I was trying to pick what is the second best moment of his career. Is it that 254 not out he scored against South Africa? Or is it the time he called an opponent a sister fucker?
Love that.
Yeah. Benchod is the insult. I don't know, I guess it's Hindi. I'm not that.
What did he do to warrant being called a sister
I
fucker?
think he just went out to
Went out.
bat. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Kohli was fucking fiery.
Really?
Yeah. Sister fucker. That's a common insult in India. We've got a lot of Indian listeners and viewers. Let us know if you know. Benchod. I'm going to start using it. But anyway, I say second best achievement because, of course, his finest achievement is his pimple advert, Walking Like a Dude. Got a clip of it here.
Walking like a dude, feeling all cool. You've got the look, you're gonna rule. Hey man, you're all set for tonight. Paint the town red, cause we all says so. But before you step out, dear bro, that pimple's gotta go.
स्टाइल दिखना चाहिए, पिंपल नहीं।
हिमालय मेन पिंपल क्लियर नीम फेस वॉश लड़कों के लिए नीम के डबल एक्शन के साथ ये जिद्दी पिंपल को आसानी से निकाले।
That pimple's gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. That pimple's gotta go, gotta go, gotta go.
Kind of catchy.
Loving Himalaya Men Pimple Clear Neem Face Wash.
And his skin is great.
He looks perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess because you don't know who Virat Kohli is, JP, it's hard to emphasize how funny that is. He's like, first of all, he's like a mega star, but also like quite like angry and fiery, but also funny.
But can also take the piss out of
Yeah, no, he
himself, which I
can.
quite
Yeah.
like.
But walking like a dude, feeling all cool.
So
It's good.
it was this just before he was due to come to England this summer.
Yeah, they're playing England in a month, and he's obviously doesn't fancy it.
So cricket fans everywhere are gutted. They'd like to see
Yeah,
him play.
it's massive. It's like losing the. It's a bit like when. It's not quite this level, but you know when like Messi's meant to play in a friendly in Hong Kong and then he doesn't
quite,
play,
yeah.
and you're just watching like Busquets and like who's that? DeAndre Yedlin.
Yeah, I will
It's
endeavour.
not quite that level. India are class.
I will endeavour to learn a bit more cricket so we can have some conversations around it on the
We're
pod. How
actually
about
going.
that?
We're going to we're doing a work outing at the World Test Final, South Africa v Australia. Do you wanna
Nice.
come?
Did I not get the invite?
I'm inviting you now.
Oh,
I only
right,
booked it
live on the
yesterday.
pod. What if I say no?
Well, then you won't be in the game.
No, I'd love to come.
Yeah,
I'd love
right.
to come. Why not?
It's on a Wednesday actually. So.
Nice. Let's do it.
All right, staying in off piece from football. Are you familiar with Bill Belichick? Were you until you read the notes for this
Yes.
podcast? Bill Belichick is like he's the Alex Ferguson of the NFL.
Yeah.
He's got the record for Super Bowls, 6. Masterminded that great Patriots team that like Tom Brady was in, and Rob Gronkowski. So he's 73 and at this point is a legend of the game, or he was until he sat himself down on a continental flight and found himself next to a 20-year-old philosophy student and cheerleader called Jordan Hudson. And he noticed many interesting and appealing things about Jordan. Most of all, that she was reading a philosophy book about formal logic. And, the pair of them got talking about the book. And Bill ended up signing it for her. And apparently he wrote a note in the book as well to her. And in it, he listed all his Super Bowl wins.
Have a great time, enjoy the flight, and then here are my achievements and honours.
Is that just like you've been out of the dating game so long? Or is it like when you're really famous, you don't have to have any game. You're just like, look how fucking successful I am.
Do you think she knew who he was?
I think so, yeah. I think she's a fan.
Really? Right.
Or do you think originally she was like, who's this pervy old bloke chatting me up, and then saw the Super Bowl wins and was like, oh,
Yeah.
he's probably
Maybe
wearing the
saw his-
ring.
Yeah, I was about to say, saw his Super Bowl ring and was like, ching ching.
Hand goes onto her knee with
The ring.
But we talked in our Ryan Giggs pod recently that he wrote a love letter to his girlfriend, and in it he said, "I love you even more than all my Premier League appearances," which is a lot. So is it just like if you've got that level of sporting achievement, you just mention it all the time?
Yeah, I think you've just got you walk around with that sort of arrogance, don't you?
But it's my theory of people who were really good looking from a young age. They've never had to develop a personality,
Yeah.
so they're quite bland.
Yeah.
And like people
Not
who
like
are
me and
mega,
you.
not like us, we're bloody hilarious
Yeah.
and therefore not good looking. But it's a bit like that with people who are mega successful. It's like he's so about winning Super Bowls. That's all he's got.
That's all he's got.
But to
and
be
that's
fair
all
to
he
him, it's
cares
worked.
about.
So anyway, they get talking and they stay in touch after this flight, presumably not to chat about formal logic or Bill's Super Bowl wins. And he ends up dumping his long-term partner and going out with Jordan. So 48-year age gap. So he's now 70,
Wow.
He's 73 and she's 24.
We're
Is that
just looking at a
48?
photo
That feels
of
like a bit
them.
less. So 73 minus 24.
Don't do this to me now. 41? No.
Maybe it is. No, that is 48, isn't it? 73.
We're just testing
73
our
minus 24.
We
49. But I think their birthdays don't.
We told everyone we were going to test our IQs on the podcast the other week, and it's safe to say
48 like our IQ. 48-year age gap. We're looking at a picture of them now. I mean, she's a good-looking person. He looks like a bloke down the golf club.
No, down the allotment.
Yeah, he's in his crimson blazer. He looks actually a bit like sometimes you see like well-dressed men in bookies. Sometimes
Yes.
he looks like that.
Yeah, dressed up for a Sunday out.
Mm.
I'm getting like Hugh Hefner vibes here. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, 48-year age gap is enough to be someone's grandparent, isn't it?
Yes.
Comfortably.
Easily, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it was obviously like a bit of a joke in America. Everyone found it very funny. They've been going out for a couple of years now. But he then took over as coach at the University of North Carolina, at which point it's kind of stopped being a joke. So this is a big job. Like, to an English person working at uni, doesn't sound like a huge sports job, but he's on a $10 million a year contract.
Yeah, it's like one of the biggest contracts ever.
He's the highest paid state employee in North Carolina.
Wow.
So it's a big deal. And as coach, he brings Jordan as she's sort of his right-hand man. So he describes her in his new book as my idea mill and creative muse.
Wow.
And he makes her his media advisor. She's also just coincidentally, since they started going out, she's suddenly got this $8 million property empire.
Where did that come from, I wonder?
That's coincidence.
So she's officially got a clause in, but
Oh yeah. Anyway, so she acts as his like media advisor, which means she's like present in every meeting he's in, including he was doing this interview last week with CBS, the American broadcaster, about his new book, and she sat in on it, and the journalist was asking questions about how they met, trying to get some like salacious stuff about it, and Jordan jumped in and said, "We're not talking about this." Got a clip of it.
You have Jordan right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that?
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
How did you guys meet?
I'm not talking about this.
It's a topic neither one of them is comfortable commenting on.
just in the background.
So apparently she then did that multiple times, and then she stormed out.
Really?
Yeah, and
Holy hell.
this interview's gone like mega viral in America.
So was he married when he met her? Yeah.
No, he was in a long-term relationship, like
Right.
15 years, but not married. It was just
And it wasn't to a woman that young.
no, I don't think so. Not like this.
She's come through.
Yeah. He's just
Look, guys, it's 2025.
yeah. I mean, I'm not kink shaming. Is that the right word? I mean, yeah, that looks like a more normal age gap. Anyway, there's now these rumours going around that UNC, the uni, are going to ban her from their football facilities. They have actually denied that, but there's all these reports that maybe he's going to be sacked or that he's going to have to sack her.
But you can't really sack someone for going out with someone younger. It's quite a...
No, but maybe you could say like you need to stop your girlfriend/assistant from meddling. So apparently
But
they
it's
were
his
in talk.
creative
You know,
muse.
you know that TV show Hard Knocks where they follow a football team around.
Yes.
Hard Knocks wanted to do the next series about him being at UNC because it's a massive story. It's kind of like, what is it? It's like Fergie taking over, like certainly a team lower in the league, or like, I don't know. Yeah. Like it's an unusual story. But she was so adamant that she was going to be really involved in the doc that they pulled out. So then now like people are saying, and a lot of this stuff is rumor. I don't know.
I mean, surely she can just go and sort of continue building her property portfolio.
Well, she has another gig as well because she's a beauty queen.
Oh, nice.
And while this story was like massive in America over last weekend, and while that was all going down, she was competing in Miss Maine.
Did he go?
Yeah. Oh, he went, mate. He was front row, and then there were pictures of him leaving with her, and he's like, carrying a bag of eyelash extensions and lip gloss. I think that's the point at which it becomes undignified.
Yeah.
Like,
carrying her
fair enough.
bits.
Have your much younger girlfriend. Give her $8 million of property. Even let her ruin your CBS interview and make you look a bit stupid.
Yeah,
but when
don't
you're like,
go to the fucking
do you know what I mean? When
beauty
you're like,
pageant.
have you ever seen like influencers in the wild? You'll be in a restaurant and the girl's like posing with loads of like food that she's not going to eat in some restaurant, and the boyfriend's just there being like, yeah, make this crazy tiger face. You know what I mean? Like, just like it's undignified.
I think he's moved into that phase, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's doing her social content.
Yeah, he's besotted.
Yeah. They did a post on Halloween where she was a mermaid lying on the beach and he was like a fisherman. It's like, mate, come on. Everyone's saying his family needs to do an intervention, but I mean, look, if he's happy.
Yeah, fair enough.
And she, in her Miss Maine thing, she came third, decent. Apparently, she did a speech in which she said, "Hate never wins."
I wonder if has the season started yet for the UNC team?
That's a good question. I actually don't know.
Because if the form drops off a cliff, then he's fucked. Isn't he?
Well, apparently his contract buyout is about to go down from $10 million to $1 million, and they're saying maybe an NFL team will like poach him and sort of save him from himself.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, like, he's obviously free to just enjoy his life, but it's hard to imagine Alex Ferguson doing that.
Yeah, I mean, Fergie's a bit more above board.
Or is he? So you don't have to imagine Fergie doing something a bit naughty, because on Patreon we're about to get into a scandalous rumour about the great man from his managerial days. It's pretty sordid.
You fucker, Jack.
Yeah, it's sort of interwoven with the whole. There was that thing about the horse, and he was like in a battle over the horse's jizz.
Yeah.
But it's much, much more funny than that. And you can hear that story right now when you join us on Patreon. We're about to go in there. We're also going to be talking, as it's FA Cup final week. Doesn't feel like FA Cup final week, does it?
It's not a big deal anymore.
We are going to make it feel like FA Cup final week was, like the old days where you get up at 10 a.m. and it's already on 2 TV channels.
Yeah, we're excited.
But we're going to be diving into like the funniest FA Cup final stories. There are some really good ones, including the manager who transplanted monkey testicles into his players' bodies as a pre-match pick-me-up for the FA Cup final. Really looking forward to that one. So you can join us on Patreon right now. If you're not already a member of the dungeon, patreon.com/Upshot Towers.
First Patreon we've ever done without Zach.
Without Zach, yeah. Things are going to change around here.
It's really fucking sad.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit more naughty.
Gory.
While the cat's away.
Shorts are coming off.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about horse jizz.
Yeah.
And stuff that's even racier than that.
Those shorts are very short today, by the
Sorry,
way.
if you're watching on YouTube, I apologise. My clothes keep riding up, which is meant to only be for Patreon members. But yeah, I was watching our Lineker episode that's coming back out, and there's some bits where my crotch is rank.
I did notice that.
Yeah,
it looked
horrible.
there's too much out.
Yeah, I'm going to have to demonetize that video.
The J pedophiles are loving it.
Yeah, when are you going to get a bit skimpier? Maybe on Patreon. All right, so if you are a Patreon member or you want to join, we'll see you over there. Patreon.com/Upshot Towers. £3 a month. Do it in your browser, not the app. Saves you money. Otherwise, thanks a lot for listening. We'll see you next time.
See you in the dungeon.
See ya.